Hi everyone, welcome. How are you doing today? I'm here with Bentley is laying down in my lap right here. So we're working on it, trying to fix it, so he will definitely be in the picture more especially when it wants to lay down. But anyways, how was your week? How's everything going? So last week we talked about healing through writing therapy and the benefits behind it. This week, we're going to talk about how to get started with that and the process of that. So first, you're going to want to choose your style. So what do I mean by choose your style? Like, do you want to use a notebook or a journal, computer? I know you all are doing medical records through computer all the time. Phone, or you can use your tablet. So whatever is easiest for you. Me personally, I would do either journaling, like a notebook journal, or even a computer, but that's just me. But you want to be able to find something that helps you, that works for you. So you can be able to free-flowing, focus on specific events or feelings, such as poetry, music, song lyrics, and art letters. So that's also another style, like with how you want to write, and then different ways you can write. Also, you want to find your why. What do you want to achieve? And let that motivation guide you. I would say a lot of... So even necessarily, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to write your feelings down. You don't have to do like a diary and write your feelings down or things that you did. So even if you're writing a letter or writing, like composing music, or writing song lyrics, that necessarily doesn't mean that you have to, like, you could create a happy song, or you can create, a positive letter, or a positive poem. It doesn't have to be negative or depressive, or angry. But if you feel the need to, you should. That makes sense. So, or even if it's trying to get, see your why. So even if you're trying to get that sad feeling that you're feeling emotionally for that bad day that you had, like you're writing to get that out. And so it may or may not help you completely. Like when I say that, it may help you, you may feel completely better after you do it, and might not have those feelings anymore. But then again, you may still have those feelings, but not as much as you were before you did the exercise, if that makes sense. And so to me, and that's just what I think. Now, granted, you may have a completely different motivation or why for you, why to do that. But in a sense, just let that guide you. And so to create, and make sure you create like a dedicated space to where it's quiet, you're not interrupted. If you want to throw in some background music, whether it's meditative music, classical music, I know my husband does 80s music especially when he writes his medical records. But you can look at that one or two ways. You can throw in the music you listen to at work while you're doing this, or you can throw in something else. Whereas it may help inspire you to get you to write something or just write things down, or it may make you feel like you're at work and you need to write medical records. So it could do one or two things. I'm one of these people. I have temporarily or a small version of photographic memory, and so, but it works in a sense that I can remember like certain things, like when a song is playing, or if I'm listening to something, whether it's an audiobook, oh, excuse me, sound or nature, smells. I mean, I know a lot of people, smells help them remember things, but different like environment and stuff, I can remember specific things that were said or done through music and sound. And so like photographically, it puts me back in that place during that time. So that's why I say that, if you're if you find a quiet place to sit down to do writing, healing through writing therapy, listening to the same thing that you listen to when you're at work doing medical records, it may help you, but it may not. So just keep that in mind. Or you don't have to have music playing at all. Like you can have quiet time. I will say, and when you do that, like set a time, aim to do, whether it's like 5 minutes a day or once a week or twice a week or once a month. Like aim to do a specific time that you're going to do this. Set aside time, block time off in your calendar to do it. Whether it's first thing in the morning, in the afternoon, evening, before you go to bed, just set some time aside to be able to do it. Interesting enough, Shonda Rhimes, I think is how she pronounces it, who is the creator of Grey's Anatomy, but Scandal, How to Get Away with Murder, Bridgerton. Yes. So she, I read somewhere where she actually starts, I think, like 4 a.m. and works 4 hours straight, and she'll go lock herself in like her room or an office. I think maybe her office home or whatever. And she says, like, do not bother her. Like, unless the house is on fire, there's an emergency or whatever, like, she'll work 4 hours straight and not be bothered. So, no, you don't have to write for 4 hours. But my point being is set aside that time to where there's no interruptions. And you can just write. If you're on a time limit, set a time limit. Other than that, I would say write till you're done. I guess what I mean that is like get everything out that you want to get out. If you had if you had an angry client, or if you're upset with management, or if you had a bad case, like, write a letter to that person. If that helps. You can write the letter and then you can burn it. I always say, to me, some people, they do that. They'll write the letter and then they'll burn it to like release it. And it helps release the feelings. So I would always say, just if you're going to do that, please be mindful of the environment. It's very dry, hot in the summer, spring. Just, if you have a fire pit, just make sure you do it. When you do it, make sure you do it appropriately if you're going to do that. And so also, when you do write, don't censor yourself. Be honest. If you had a client that was very disrespectful to you, colleague, manager, or whatever, like, that would be the time to sit there and write to them everything you really wanted to say to them, that you couldn't say to them, but you really wanted to say to them. That would also be the time to, don't worry about your grammar, your spelling, or anything. just get it out. So get it out of your system. Also, there's also, you can consider prompts. So if you're not sure where to start. So like if you're wanting to do it, but your mind's just blank, you can just look up prompts, look it up for burnout, your work, writing prompts for burnout. And all right. So there are different resources. How do you do this? Like, how to get started. There's different resources. There's actually a website. It's called thelavendertherapy.com. So it has prompts that you can use to write with. If you want to, I will put those and I'll put that website in the description for you to look it up. It's really interesting. So you can start with prompts. There's also a lot of books out there that you can get that talks about writing therapy. There's also journals that are specifically healing through writing therapies. You have ones for burnout, and so they have little things in there that tells you, that gets you started, different things to write about. There's also the one journal. It's called it's like the damage journal or something. I always think that's something really good to use if you're just frustrated and angry and just need to get it out, because it tells you to, color on this page, tear this page, crinkle this page. Like you literally physically damage this journal, and it tells you how to do it on different pages. I think that is really good. There is journal therapy for overcoming burnout. There are 366 prompts for renewal and stress management by Kathleen Adams. And then there's also online workshops that you can look up. So there's actually a clinic my husband used to work for who does the healing through writing therapy for animal loss grief, and they do it virtually. I think they do it like once a month, maybe once a quarter. So they do it virtually for healing through grief therapy, or healing through therapy for grief for animal loss. So yes, those are some things that you can look at or look for if you want to. A lot of different concepts. So I would say leave in the comments if there is a specific style that works for you, or that you're even interested in. When I mean style, so notebook, computer, phone, tablet, and then are you interested in like writing poems, writing letters, composing music? So writing music, composing music, song lyrics, so different things that you can do, or even stories. Like it doesn't, you could like write short stories or novels. What are you interested in writing in? And even if you want to write a novel, like you can write your own novel, and it doesn't have to be published or anything like that. You don't have to turn it in. Just write a novel or a short story if you want to. If that helps you, like get you out of, I guess, reality, quote unquote, reality for a little bit. So get you out of what's going on. Like whatever helps. So that's the whole concept of this is, while you're not stressing over everyday things, your body is doing what it needs to do, okay, to help you out. All right, so until next week, with that being said, remember, you are valued, you are appreciated, and that you have Lifeboat through NOMV, Not One More Vet, that has the peer-to-peer communication. First time you sign up for it, it takes 72 hours. After that, somebody can reach you within 24 hours if you need to need to chat. So you have Lifeboat with NOMV, not One More Vet. And then you also you can text 741-741. So text home to 741-741 if you need to chat with someone. 988 at the moment will, keep you posted with that. I don't think that is available anymore. I need to look that up. So I'm sorry. I think it was supposed to go out on the 12th of July, and I lost track of my dates. I've been behind days. The other day I tried to convince my husband it was Wednesday when it was actually Thursday. So yes, I'm a little behind on my days at the moment. So I got lost track of my dates as well as my days. So I will look that up. But right now just NOMV, Lifeboat with NOMV, and you can text 741-741 if you need someone to talk to. All right. So put those in your phone. And yes, until then, take care of the animals. Bentley's laying here in my lap sleeping. So what can I say? And take care of yourself, and we'll talk to you next week. All right.